hot second. So give me about a couple of minutes. Oh man. All right, so we about to get it started. So I'm just gonna give you guys the backdrop, and I'm gonna give you the relay. Hold on one second. Look like this damn camera about to fall. The shit about to pop out. So all right, so I'm about to give you guys the relay of what I know so far. There's no reason to hide this from you guys. I'm gonna tell you exactly what's going on, what I know, who I've talked to, who I've spoken with. I'm just gonna give you a backdrop of what I believe is going on. And I'm gonna connect some dots and I'm going to speak on some things. Now, apparently it appears that the PBC deal is already in jeopardy at Amazon. This is what I've been told. I was told by this from at least two different people, and then you've heard other people report on this. This is what I've been told so far, that the PBC deal is in serious jeopardy already, and that the tank fight will probably be the end game for the PBC with Amazon. Because basically, they said the person who's supposed to be a woman who's supposed to have brokered the deal really didn't have the authority to make a deal like that. She really didn't run it by her bosses, I guess Bezo, and a couple of other people. So she called herself making this deal on her own. Now this is alleged, all this stuff. So they really didn't. This is why they didn't really get no upfront money. This is one of these things where you had a person that's supposed to be a visionary trying to do the typical um, Melanie Griffith from Working Girl type of thing, try to be an idealist, and it may have backfired. And I've heard that she's been fired. This is what I've been hearing. Once again, this is all alleged rumors. But you've been hearing, besides that, the PBC has been looking for a new permanent home with upfront money to have a budget. Okay. And this is one of the reasons why you started to see PBC fighters fighting on other platforms, which to me, this is something that should have been happening a long time ago. But Al Heyman, he put himself in a situation where he tried to outsmart everybody. Yes, I know there were lawsuits and all that kind of stuff, but he won the lawsuits. At the end of the day, carry on. make the best fights out there for the fans and for yourselves, instead of like trying to protect people and then having a certain motto of how you're going to do things. To me, the PBC just did not have a good long-term strategy. It worked temporarily, but then the long game is where the PBC went left, and that's the problem. So you're hearing after the Tank fight, that may be it, unless the Tank fight does some astronomical numbers. Keep in mind, the Tank fight is in June. Okay, this will really only be the third official PBC event, and they supposed it had at least 14 scheduled shows, and Tank will only be the Tank will be the third PBC Amazon event, and then the Canelo fight will also be a joint venture with Amazon and DAZN. So DAZN is going to get credit for this fight as well as Amazon. So technically, the Tank fight might really be the only full-fledged Amazon pay-per-view. And that's not a good sign. If you in June and you only didn't have 3 events so far, you ain't even had any regular events. Now, of course, you're gonna come around here eventually and start talking this, oh, you're being a coon and all that stuff, coming down on Al Haymon, a black man, and all this kind of stuff. And we all know Al Haymon don't give a rat's ass about the black community. He's proved that on several occasions. The only color Al care about is green, how much he can make without spending. Okay. Al Haymon, to a certain degree, he turned the PBC into a swap meet like program. It looked like it was going to be, at the beginning, it could be like high end, but now it's Compton swap meet like. And I hate to use those terminologies towards the PBC, but at the end of the day, Al Haymon has nobody to blame but himself for not wanting to play ball. So now what you have is I'm talking about a program that's like on its last legs, and then you have a lot of disgruntled, angry fighters that want to get back in the ring and want fight dates. And now you can't provide that for them. So please don't jump on the, Al Haymon is making things happen by letting his fighters fight on other platforms. Well, he has no damn choice. That's really what's going on. He doesn't really have much of a choice. So he has to let them fight on other platforms because he don't have a platform for them. So, Al Haymon is, from what I've been told, paying attention to what happens with Netflix. Now, with all due respect and keeping it real with you guys, Netflix could be an option. It really comes down on what the viewership is with this Jake Paul, Mike Tyson thing. Because if I'm not mistaken, Netflix will entirely have the WWE, if I'm not mistaken, starting January 2025. Because I heard that the WWE network will be no more. So if Netflix is looking into getting into the sports business, well, cool. So the PBC isn't all the way done. And then keep in mind, NBC is interested in bringing the PBC back. But some things are going to have to come into play. And then you have to wonder how much control Al Haymon is willing to give up. So a lot of things are going to have to come into play. And then you also then heard the rumor, Cameron talked about it, Roy Jones Jr. talked about it. And I said this about 2 years ago, back in 2022, that HBO is seriously considering bringing back the boxing program. I have no idea how this is going to be done. That's all I've been hearing. So far, it's just a rumor. But right now, the PBC is in jeopardy. But however, there are options. But the thing is, Al Heyman is going to have to be willing to give up some of the control that he has and the stranglehold that he has on the PBC. He's going to have to be willing to, do different things because Al Heyman really controlled everything from the inside and the outside. So the thing is, if Al Heyman doesn't play ball this go around, and if he tries to be the dude that tries to, try to pull power moves on everybody, because at the end of the day, here's the thing: Al Heyman can't flex on Turkey Alashiki. It's not even close when it comes to the resources. Okay. And shout out to your excellency, because at the end of the day, he's doing what could have been done, should have been done, and hope from this point on will be done. And no, I'm not talking about the Bible, and I'm not dissing the Bible as well. But some things got to come into play. People gonna have to all work together. But here's the thing: everybody has been willing participants as far as rider season goes. I don't know how long it lasts, but it's coming to the States now. So I don't know all the specifics, but they gave me a couple of emails to read. They sent them to me. I'll check them out. You know, um, of course, as you guys know, I'm a credentialed media member. So, I know things. And like I told you, I talk behind the scene. I don't always, like I said, reveal what I've been told. But if you know my track record, a lot of the things that I predicted came to fruition. So I can't be too far off base. Remember, I said 2 years ago that HBO was considering getting back in the boxing business. Now, how is it going to work? Like I said, once again, I have no idea. It's going to be a wait and see process. And a lot of people going to have to put their egos to the side, and everybody's going to have to be willing to work with each other. From the networks to the promotional companies to the fighters. Because boxing as a whole is in deep trouble, and I have to keep it 100. It ain't what it was like in the 70s, the 80s, and the early 90s. One, because of the promoters to a certain degree, and because of the fighters. You have a lot of bratty and spoiled fighters, with egos. And to a certain degree, I do have to say some fear into losing. Because, like I said, this is the detriment that Floyd has been to boxing, holding on to his undefeated streak for dear life and not really wanting to take a risk. You ain't never heard Floyd say he's not afraid to let his O go. That's one thing he loves to throw in people's face. Oh, I never lost and all this kind of stuff. Well, here's the thing, Floyd. You put yourself in the best position not to ever lose. You carefully calculated who you were going to fight, how you were going to fight them, and when were you going to fight them. Let's just be real. So I'm just giving you guys an update on what's going on. Like I said, a lot of people think that I have this ill will towards Al Heyman and the PBC, and that is not the case at all. I just don't like how they be moving. I don't like the things Al Heyman has done. I don't like how he's treated, in particularly the black fighters on this roster. I don't like how they disrespected Terrence Crawford. And now, you have this situation with Errol Spence and Derek James. I have some of the specifics with that, and I'll speak on that later. And I'll find it ironic, Errol Spence, I don't want to dig too deep, and I don't want to take real bad digs at Errol Spence, but I do find it ironic that Errol Spence decides to do some good PR by visiting a sick person, and then he in all likely knew that this thing with Derek James was coming up. Now, am I saying Errol Spence is being disingenuous? No. But at the end of the day, you have to keep it a buck though. You have to keep it a buck. You have to keep it a buck. You know. And I know some of the Errol Spence apologists gonna be mad that I said that. How could you say something like this? Yeah, you going to make your videos, taking your shots at me. But that's fine. I'll be okay. Because at the end of the day, I'm not worried about nobody on the internet. You guys already done seen up close and personal that a lot of these dudes ain't who they say they is. And that's cool. You want to be an entertainer. You want to be, you want to, you want to do the shock jock thing and stuff. You want to create this persona for yourself. Okay, cool. But be careful though. Because if you want to present yourself as a tough guy and Billy Badass, okay, well, you better be prepared when you get out in these streets. Listen, I'm gonna say this much, and I'm gonna leave it at this. I'm not talking about a specific situation. Of course, I know about the situation with you know who and you know who. That ain't got nothing to do with me. Okay. Okay. Because at the end of the day, I'm just staying out of it. Dude is my boy, and I'm leaving it at that. And I'm just talking about anybody in general. And this is real talk. I'm giving you advice and I'm trying to help you. If you want to build the channel, like basically talking about people and talking about other content creators, and you know what I'm saying, and talking all this super nigga shit, I highly suggest you don't sit up there and show your face. Now I've shown my face because I don't really talk. I don't really talk like that, and I'm not challenging nobody to no showdown. I don't sit up there and specifically just say on the humbug, I want to fight somebody because I don't like their content. If I got beef with somebody, I got real beef with somebody because of something they did to me. But I'm not finna sit up here and just build a platform just clout chasing. Because I did that when I first got on here. I was clout chasing, didn't even know I was clout chasing. You know, when the stuff started with Gotti and all this stuff. And one thing I can say, I truly regret that stuff. That's just real talk. Because the way I was getting at people who was, talking bad on Floyd and then seeing what type of person that Floyd really is, man, I look real stupid. I was wrong about Floyd just like I was wrong about Cynthia G. So I just gotta eat that. I gotta take it. So I'm just saying to anybody, if you're gonna be one of them dudes that's gonna constantly make videos talking about people and acting like you want funk and all that stuff and saying you this and you saying you that, okay, well, here's the thing. You never know who these dudes know. You never know who they down with. So here's the thing. You got to be ready for that. You got to be ready for that because sometimes people ain't going to be going for that. Oh, it's just the internet and it's just a character I play. Just like these dudes that be going around here bothering people, pranking people, and then when these dudes be ready to go upside their head, they talking about it's a prank, it's a prank. Well, first of all, it's not a prank if you don't know the person. It's harassing somebody. That's the difference. And I want you guys to distinguish that. It's not really a prank if you fucking with somebody that you've never seen in your life. And I think a lot of these dudes with the so-called prank stuff, they take it too far. You sit up here, got dudes coming out of nowhere talking about they gonna knock you out and all that kind of stuff. Now, I do know for a fact some of this stuff is staged because I know for a fact a lot of these dudes ain't that damn brave. But that's just the point that I'm trying to make. This goes for anybody. If you're gonna be that dude, if you want to be a dude that just want to talk boxing and all that kind of stuff, listen, I understand if you take shots at somebody every once in a while, that happens. But when you start talking about you gonna like physically harm somebody and you talking about gunplay and all that type of shit, okay, you asking for it. And I'm just keeping it 100. Don't talk that type of shit if you ain't prepared for what's gonna come with it. When you start talking about you gonna, beat somebody up for no reason that you ain't never saw in your life just because you don't like what they say on their channel, okay, well, you asking for it. Because at the end of the day, this is the internet and this is evidence. So if you sit up there and say that you gonna do this and you this, that, and third killer and all that kind of stuff, okay, here's the thing, and I'm finna give y'all a word of advice. Depending on what state you go in, if you go in one of them open carry states like Georgia or Tennessee or Texas or Kentucky, and one of these dudes see you and they know who you is, you know who they are, and they do something to you, well, the evidence is on your platform from you saying, hey, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Don't play them games with people, man. If you don't like somebody, you don't like somebody. That's fine. I'll do it. I'll take shots at people. I done took shots at the least attorney and a few other people. But I'm not going to, but I don't say their names. That's another thing. Most of y'all know who I'm talking about. But at the end of the day, I don't say their name. And I don't sit up there and say, hey, I want to fight you and I'm going to do this to you and I'm going to delete you because I don't like what you say on your channel and I don't agree with you and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, I'm just giving you a word of advice. So to all you content creators, don't fall into that trap and don't get caught up in that stuff as well. Don't, and that's another thing. Don't sit up there and cape for a dude you've never met in life. These dudes that I ride for, I done met them in real life, hung out with them. So it's different. But then there's limitations to everything for the most part. So I wanted to put that out there. Don't get caught up in that kind of stuff. If you a content creator, just create content. Just give your own opinion. And you can say, hey, I saw so-and-so's video. I disagree with him on that. But when you constantly come out the gate and you trying to clout chase and you sitting up here talking all this high power super nigga shit, you got to own up to it. You got to be prepared for what come with it. So I'm just telling you, I highly recommend you don't go that route. Y'all know me, most of the time, I just talk boxing. I don't really be talking about other dudes and all that kind of stuff. I don't talk about other people's channel because I feel like to a certain degree, that's like trying to build your platform off the back of somebody else. And that's what a lot of these dudes did. But I just wanted to bring that up as a side note. I just want to give some friendly advice to content creators. Do what guys like Mill City do. Mill City Boxing, he got a good channel. He just do interviews, man. Do what Marcos do. I know a lot of people say Marcos could be, kind of dull and everything, but Marcos do a good job. I learned from Marcos, with Fight Hub. And then you see in Fight Hype, they being fanboys for Floyd Mayweather and stuff. And they were supposed to be a respectable boxing channel, but then now they didn't turn to a smut channel. And you got like 1 million subscribers and everything. But, you do what Floyd tell you to do, Ben Thompson. But, I'm just saying. If you want to be one of them type of content creators, just talk about you. Just talk about the fighters and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, Mill City Boxing, he got a real good channel. I'm not subscribed to his channel, but I watch his channel. I watch the channel. I check him out. He got some good stuff. Very professional, and he doesn't try to, he asks tough questions, but he doesn't try to instigate. He ain't on that DJ Blad shit. So I'll recommend Mill City Boxing. Of course, I'll recommend Fight Hype. There's some other good channels out there. Bacito Boxing, that's my guy. Of course, my channel. Goodfella Sports TV. So just saying. World Combat Sports. No. NBC wants to have everything. That's what's going on. NBC wants to get the NBA back as well as the NFL, and they want to try to get Major League Baseball back. 2025 is the end of a lot of media deals and TV deals. If I'm not mistaken, Amazon is going to start featuring the NBA. So NBC is a potential player in the game. They just want to bring boxing back as a whole. I don't even think they just want to do a exclusive deal. They just want to bring boxing back as a whole. So this is what I'm saying. For that to happen, a couple of trees is gonna have to be shaken and some leaves gonna have to be cut off. So it's far and beyond. Like I said, I'm really out here doing the work. I'm doing the research. All this stuff is resourceful and factual information. No, they do. No, NBC do. NBC wants everything. They want to be a all around, sports network. They want when I say they want everything back, they looking to get everything back from. I know, if I'm not mistaken, they do a little hockey. I know they got the NFL, of course, but they are really trying to get the NBA back. They are really trying to get the NBA back. I don't know what they got going on with MLB, but I know that they're interested in being what they were like in the 70s and the early 80s, where they had everything, where they had a little boxing, where they had football, basketball, they had it all. So that's the overall plan. Now, will it work? Well, we'll just have to see. Well, like I said before, 2025 is going to be very interesting, but getting back to boxing, like I said before, Al Haymon going to really have to reevaluate what's going on. He's going to have to let go somewhat of his stranglehold that he has on boxing. And I was lying when I was lying here, like just chilling. How you contemplating and you having epiphanies, before you take a little cat nap. And I was just like, it could work, man. What I think gonna have to happen is everybody gonna have to have like what you call probably a power luncheon or something, or a conference call, or some kind of, like, everybody from the networks to the promoters to the sanctioning bodies, and they gonna have to figure this out. Because here's the thing, everything ain't gonna be meant to be on pay-per-view. They're gonna be big fights that should just be put on regular TV. That was supposed to be the overall plan of the PBC, where they were supposed to be trying to bring, boxing back to mainstream TV. Because keep in mind, if I'm not mistaken, Sean Porter and Keith Thurman fought on regular CBS, and that was supposed to be the overall goal. And then all of a sudden, it just went another direction. It got to the point to where the major networks didn't even bother with it no more. So that's why I find it funny. And I think another thing they're gonna have to do, they're gonna have to, have real PR people, and they're gonna have to like market the sport of boxing better. And the problem is with some of these boxers, they have these personalities that's just not eye-catching. They don't draw a lot of fan interest. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you guys have to, boxers that's listening, I'm not saying that these guys have to like put on a minstrel show like what Floyd did. It did at the same time. I don't think they have to be in full-blown Tim Duncan mode neither. It's gonna have to be some in between, where they give you enough to satisfy the people that like the you know, the high-end shenanigans, and then the people that like the conservativeness. But it can work. Where there's a will, there's a way. But anyway, just wanted to give you guys an update on what's going on. Yeah, Al, he gonna have to figure this out, and hopefully he figure it out soon. Because if not, if some things don't come into play, and I mean soon, the PBC will be done by this year. So there you have it. It's your boy Town, I'm out.